Hello to all my friends out there. And this is The White Stag by Kate Seredy. This is part 4, part 2 of chapter 2. I saw one eagle and one white heron, and they seemed to merged together until there was only one white bird, a white eagle. I heard the voice, "Hear, Deimos, see, hear, and remember." I heard the clash of swords and the whine of flying arrows. I heard thundering hoofbeats and the battle cry of warriors. I saw the white eagle change colors, become red, red as blood. He swooped down until his talons touched the flames and soared up again with a flaming sword clutched in his claws. The voice roared from the ground and the sky, the stones and the trees. "Deimos, remember and speak." The boy stopped. He was trembling like a leaf, as if the cloak of magic had fallen from him. He stood there, just a frightened, tired little boy again. Once more he began in a whisper. "I was frightened. Everything became dark, and I ran, I don't know where. When the light came, I saw Hunor and Magyar, the white herons perched on their shoulders. I cried, 'Here they come!' And suddenly his voice broke, and he finished with a childish sob. And suddenly there weren't any white herons, only pale-faced girls with yellow hair. And now I can't see." He stumbled forward, groping with his hands. "Mother, where are you?" Hunar sprang forward and caught the boy in his arms. He looked into his eyes intently. Then he turned to the silent, odd crowd. "The child is blind. He has seen what no human eyes can see, the future, and its glare has blinded him. Do not grieve for him, for now we have a prophet, one who will warn us and guide us, one who, like my father Nimrod, saw the coming of Attila." He turned to the boy's mother. "Lead him to the tent and let him rest." The boy saw more than that, Hunar. He saw the mating of twin eagles of Hudar with white herons or moon maidens. Now everyone looked at the strange maidens. They were standing quietly under a tree, unfrightened, smiling and talking to each other. Strange, pale maidens with golden hair. Hunor and Magyar had brought them. The twin eagles of Hudar had found them, slim, graceful maidens to behold, with their wispy white garments spread out like wispy feathers of white herons or rays of the pale moon. They were warm and friendly like any human girl. White heron moon maids, fairies or humans. Who were they? Who could tell? In time, the moon maidens ceased to be cause for wonder and curiosity. From the day when Hunar and Magyar had brought them to the camp, children of the tribe followed them wherever they went. They were so beautiful and gay. Women of the tribe came to love them. They were gentle and winning. Men respected them. They could heal the wounded and ease the sick. They learned to speak the language of the tribe, and they were called by the name Deimos the blind boy gave them, Tundi and Scylla. Deimos was happy only when he was near Tundi. For hours he would sit by her side and listen to her singing. "Her voice is as soft as the downy wings of a bird," he would say, and then the people remembered again his dream of white herons. He was held in respect and awe, for was he not given the power to see the future? So it was Deimos who lighted the torch of maidens for the weddings of Hunar and Tundi and Magyar and Scylla. It was Deimos who poured clear spring water on their hands joined over the flame. His eyes could not see, but he could but he could hear their simple, sacred vows. Through fire and water I come to thee. Not fire nor water shall take me from thee. It was Deimos who 12 moons later carried Hunar's son up the altar steps and held him high for everyone to see. It was Deimos who on that day named him Bendigaz, the white eagle. 15 years had passed, 15 peaceful years for the tribe. By the misty blue lake, young Bendigaz grew into a tall, brawny boy who rode the wildest horse, who could shoot straight and true as the best of hunters. Boys of his age and even those who were much older soon accepted him as the best among them. When he was 10 years old, the peaceful years of the tribe came to an end. A rainless, windy spring was followed by a dry, sultry summer. Green pastures turned a dusty brown, leaves hung limp on the drooping branches, fruit blackened and dropped, shrunken to the ground. Day after day the sun came up, a sullen red, and flooded the valley with shimmering deadly heat. Springs ceased to flow, and the water at the lake receded, leaving evil-smelling slime by its bank. Game deserted the stricken land, traveling towards the west in droves. People grew gaunt and hollow-eyed. Many of them were becoming ill. They remembered the dark days of the wild mountains, the suffering, the starvation, and they knew the time had come to move. No one questioned the command of Hunar or Magyar to pull up the tents, to prepare for a long journey. Old and young worked in the relentless heat one day, and one day at dawn the caravan stood ready. But they were not the one great united but nameless tribe that had followed Hunar and Magyar out of the wilderness of Altain Olna. In the long peaceful years, a slight but gradual widening rift had appeared in their once unbroken loyalty to the two brothers. The more reckless and adventurous among them looked for guidance to Hunar, who knew no fear and had no pity on the weak. Others loved the sober, gentle, serious Magyar. The birth of Bendigaz made the rift still deeper. Until now, both brothers had followed brothers had a following who would take commands from one but the other chosen leader. They called themselves Huns or Magyars now, and so they left the once happy fertile valley, still brother tribes united by one purpose and belief, but ready to separate at the will of their leaders. Hunar and Magyar were hardly aware of this, twin eagles of Hudar. They rode together, spurs touching, their eyes turned towards the promised land. Only at Hunar's side now rode his son, fearless young Bendigaz. Often on the long journey, he left his father's side to ride ahead, far ahead of the slowly moving caravan, his fair hair flying out, his short white cape streaming out behind him in the wind like great wings. It was on these times that the word of Nimrod lived again in the hearts of old warriors. After Hunar and Magyar are gone, there shall be a leader, and it will be his son, greatest of all, with a mighty voice, wings of red blood, who will lead you to the promised land. Here he was, trying out his wings, the white eagle, Bendigaz. Okay, you guys, I'll be back tomorrow.